Hello everybody, I am back with
Hi,
Ben and Cad from 4Ground, and today we're having a look at something a little more, shall we say, sci-fi.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
I think we can say that. Industrial-esque, sci-fi, cavernous kind of a place.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, you have basically made a modular set of walls, which just so happen to fit with one of my favorite sort of backgrounds within the 40k universe, which is Necromunda.
Yeah.
Yep.
So from the top down here, I'm sure you can't exactly see this. It all still looks pretty dark, but what they've actually done is they've created wall segments here, which actually fit and magnetize to the set and actually cover up all of the little blank spots.
Yeah.
I am loving the design for this, guys.
Thank you very much.
Loving
It's
the
brilliant.
idea that I can actually get that 3D element without having to build a full table.
Yeah, it was. So I feel like I said this a lot recently, but we started playing Necromunda at work.
Mhm.
We really enjoyed Necromunda. We play 3D, but it's a lot easier to play 2D.
Mhm.
Well,
Which
the
is
new
the
Necromunda
tiles,
is actually
yeah.
quite good fun.
Yeah,
2D,
Yeah.
except I know I'm a bit of a kid, but I hate, if I'm playing a board game, I'm playing a board game.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, Necromunda should still be a tabletop, kind of a battle game. So therefore, I need to see the terrain. It reminded me of when I was really small, playing Battle of the Little Bighorn.
Mm-hmm.
And the Custer's Cavalry were behind the bits on the board that says that it was barricades, but it wasn't. And so it was actually Robbie. We got our youngest member of the design team is what we call an improver.
Yeah,
and
he seems to be on fire at the minute.
well, he sits next to me a lot, so he gets to get. I don't know whether it's persecuted or inspired is the right expression, but the thing is,
in the deep darkness of the future, you can be inspired with a pistol to the back of your
maybe
head.
Yes.
so. Yeah, maybe so. I might be Big Ben the commissar.
drive close, right? Like hit the
Oh
big
man,
muscle.
I have to see this one.
No, you don't. No.
No, Valhallan Commissar.
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've got the moves for it as well. I could be your Valkyrie. So when Robbie was learning how to do things, one of the things you have to understand is how you divide down in spaces, because you're making a three-dimensional thing. And so when he saw this, he realized that he had already been making some cubes to be able to do this with our terrain system.
Yes.
And then what really spooked him out was the fact that it's very similar in size. In fact, these were pretty much designed for our own system, and there's 4 mil difference in these, and we have two 2 mil spaces. So you know the Star Wars system that uses the same system and that kind of thing that we had. So that's
that framework system.
yeah, that framework. So he's done this. We're really over the moon with what he's managed to achieve from this, and that's part of the. A project's half won when the guy who's got the project understands what he's looking for.
Yes.
But I'm not going to credit him too much because he's still got a lot more to learn, and I don't want to just slap him around the ear because he feels too good. Although he'd probably hit me back. Sorry, Cad, you carry on, mate.
So this terrain set, it's not out yet. There is still stuff to be done to it.
Yes.
The idea is that it's modular. You can use it for a lot of things. I'd use it for Star Wars Legion. I'd use it for Zone Mortalis for normal 40k. I'd use it potentially for Infinity.
Yeah.
If you
If
said
you
it
wanted
was,
to do like a nice industrial yard with like some cargo containers and stuff, that could be really cool.
yeah, and especially as obviously it's really good. Like you can't see it, but you've got all these very narrow for your
The fire lanes.
I'm going to get it wrong. AORs?
AROs.
AROs. I knew I'd get it
Automatic
wrong.
reaction.
Sorry,
order.
Yeah.
he is genuinely just like this. I can't even say it.
So with
Dan, is
those,
he dyslexic? You're dyspraxic?
No, I'm not.
Oh, really? That's
I'm dysfunctional.
yeah.
Welcome to the club.
Thank you, sir.
So obviously for that kind of thing, you're breaking up line of sight very well. Yeah, the system's good. You can change it quite quickly because you could just remove a central wall if you didn't have the black bit there.
Yeah.
We've done that with the containers covering up some of the black wall. We've also got just here, I don't know if you can see where we put these.
You can't, unfortunately.
Okay, that doesn't matter. Don't worry, people, you can't see it, but just there we've covered some things.
You guys have grabbed a lot of these
Our other
containers.
stuff, yeah.
and actually use them as like
Yeah.
blocking to actually block out other parts.
And if you lift the lid on that Sci-Fi, that's one of our, if you can actually get the lid off of this one as
the
well.
container.
The container. So that's a great objective room in a way, because, you know, say that there's something, I was thinking more of like an Infinity S kind of a game where there's somewhere where you want to find something.
You could have that as an objective zone and things like that, which is very good. I like the fact as well that you're using more than just the shaped walls, having things like the boxes, the crates, the air vents and stuff.
Ducting on the floor and that kind of thing,
It adds a certain level to it. There's one request I have for this system, and it's possibly very silly. I would love for you guys to do these in half height.
Yeah.
See this half wall section right here? This segment here, if I could get this done at half the height, as something that I could see over, but possibly not move over, or be forced to jump over, it would add that extra dimension to it.
Oh yeah, I mean
very
that's why we have the ducting there, though. That has in the past been used for something similar to that, or even the containers. We've been asked for quite a few different things, haven't we? Doors is one of the things we've been asked for.
Yeah.
So the other thing we were going to show is not just the walls themselves, but this wall here.
It has some inserts in it.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think that one there, looking at it, I don't think that one does.
Yeah, so this is how it looks blank, and this is it with the inserts. And they all come on. Nice little sprue.
Yeah.
These are for your...
the smaller...
But they are going to be... you know, a lot of people don't necessarily want them, so they're an optional add-on in the colours that you want. But so you could have the whole thing, like, for instance, here I've got something where we've just used a silver metallic.
Oh.
And then if I look around, I've got there's a
white one there.
Yeah, there's another nice little white one there.
Yeah, so you can all the same or mix them up.
Yeah, the color theme that you want, and also with regard the actual paint scheme. Now we don't know. We've got one there. You know, we've shown you the majority of this is grey, but you'll also be able to get the more metallic. But we don't know whether because it's very hard to be able to get all of them out there. It might be the metallic is just done on the website. I don't know.
Yeah, we see. I like the look and the feel of the metallic. It's got more of a rust feel with that that burn leftover that's on there.
Yeah.
It adds just that little touch of
it
weathering.
does. Yeah,
and you know we were talking in another video about engineering.
Yeah.
Now the grey is actually more likely because you tend to paint things with anti-rust materials.
Well, antioxidants. Yeah,
antioxidants. But obviously, when you're doing something that you want to be either grimdark or you want that extra level to it, sometimes the metallics are better visually, even though they're not necessarily better, like in a reality kind of view.
Thematically.
But thematically. Although if you're playing in a game where people wander around with swords in the far distant future, then obviously whether it's painted to be anti-rust is not a concern of yours.
Not really, no. The other thing to mention is that, you know, the baseboards on our Jet Industrial Terrain, because obviously we future-proofed it way back because we've had the concept of what we're going to do here for some time.
Yes.
The idea is also as this becomes a substructure underneath those bases, because although when you're playing on a map normally you don't necessarily need the bases, when you see it all you'll see how our crazy vision for what it could be.
I just had a crazy idea.
Oh no.
I want to take an absolute crap load of this.
Yeah.
And I mean like enough for...
We do like people saying that.
Well, what I want to do is I actually want to get these, use them as pilings, and build like a big oil rig structure across the water.
That's exactly what they are, because that's exactly what you can do with these.
And you could use.
I'm assuming because these are still in development.
They have
probably more magnets.
No, the only thing that they have on there is two more magnets there and there on two corners.
So on the top here and here.
Yeah, not four, just two.
And the reason two on the bottom.
And two on the bottom. And the reason for that is because then, if you think about your sub base and how we did it, they then. It's like a datum point. They then lock in with the magnets. Yeah. The other thing to remember, of course, is I was saying about the I-beam and everything else. Yeah. You can move it straight at this. The I-beam is done in the same. What would you call it? Skin dressing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the skin.
as this one.
I see.
And then say, for instance, if you were going to do a pirate dock, then you'd use your I-beam in the bits where people can't see, and your stone effect in the bits where people can see, and vice versa for this.
Yes. There's one other thing I noticed that this system allows me to do, and it's one thing that annoys me in some games. See your blast marker?
Yeah.
whenever you try and put it down over miniatures and you're holding it and it's going up and down and wiggling about, going,
or you hold it in one place and your mate holds it in another, and then you can just put it down and say, look, see.
With this, I can pop this over a couple of miniatures and you can see who's covered. Not a problem.
Yeah.
I can put it down, I can leave it, I can step away, my mate can look at it, I can look at it. And we can have a nice stable point to do it from, which I really like.
Thank you. Great. Well,
it is a fantastic system. I cannot wait to see what happens with more and more and more of it.
And it's also the magnets. I don't know if they can.
Oh yeah, they are.
You've probably got
pretty damn strong.
So it is.
That's me holding it by the end, and it's holding.
And that was and that's the important thing, is that obviously magnets vary in price, and you actually got to look at the Newton force of the magnets. These are.
Oh, have you went for super strong ones?
We've gone for the strongest we can happily put in the kits. Yeah. If they're too strong, sometimes you'll find that it actually can become a bit of a nightmare to actually unpin them.
To break apart. Yeah. And you heard it.
And give that here. I'll show you. So this is one with the magnets. I've actually got it spot on. So, yep, you really have to go for it, and then you can actually hear it snapping back together. And then there's very little wiggle in that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
And then you were talking about a prize.
Ooh.
I always talk about prizes.
You do.
Are we giving
he likes.
Okay.
Now he's going to make me shocked because he said, "Oh, there'll be a prize."
Yeah. Well, I just like people playing with the stuff.
Yes.
And a lot of people told me I'm an apprentice Father Christmas, so I don't know what it is. Right.
It's the beard.
Of this, we will count up after this how many of these there are here.
Okay.
How many of these there are here. And how many of these there are here.
So the longs, the shorts, and the pillar pieces.
And they can always go back and check on it, and someone will get the same number.
All right.
And half a dozen of the insert packs. If Cad doesn't agree, I'll start adding some more. And these containers. Do you agree yet, Cad?
Oh yeah.
I know. I was thinking
these new as well.
These are the new containers.
You've redesigned your containers. I love the extra layer you've put on these. Yeah. It gives them just that nice little bit of extra 3D on those.
And this is the other containers, which because Cad hasn't said yes, you're going to get some of these.
Okay.
This ducting as well. It looks like you're going to say yes. Yeah. That's cool. All right then.
Ducting in there too.
Oh, actually, something else I did want to show people is on the other end, where you've got this acidic sort of melting on the board.
Yes. So down here, I left this in the shot for everybody.
Yeah. Now, where you've got that, what we've done is we've taken one of the pieces that bridge on the industrial sector.
Yeah.
And actually just put it over there on that part of the board.
Yeah. The only thing I might do with something like that, and this is just an aftermarket thing that I would do after I have it built, I would give it a quick dust of black.
Oh,
just to bring it down.
That's
like the general weathering that we were showing in one of the backstage videos.
Yeah. It's something everybody forgets with your stuff. Once it's built, they can.
It's just primed. That's all it is. Yeah, sealed and primed in those colours.
Yeah. And I'm sure you guys have videos on weathering, but weathering itself is like, I'm not the best painter in the world.
Yeah. It's true. It's not.
I'm definitely not. But weathering is a lot of fun and it's really easy to do. Yeah. Like especially if you use a stippling effect. Yeah, that's nice.
See, I find the best thing for doing weathering. Say I was going to weather this cargo container. Let's say I wanted this to be rusty as hell.
Yeah.
You know what I would grab for it? Bit of orange, really dry brush, and just hit the corner.
Yep.
Hit a little streak down along here where the rain would be catching it, and maybe just a couple of wee bits where it would puddle on top.
And if you wanted it a bit more oily, you could use an ink or a wash, and then just streak it. Paint streaks down.
One of the things I would say though is if you wanted to change one of our kits, the colours on one of our kits, and you think you know what you want to do, then say for instance, I mean I know I always use the example of the Fabled Realms buildings where all the plastered walls are on one sprue. Insert, so rather than having them all in what we call, you called it Fabled Realms 118?
112.
Oh yeah,
you would.
So you just do a little bit of change on each one, so they're just slightly different. It's very easy to do. You don't have to worry about the fact that it's primed, it's sealed, it's ready to go. Yeah,
well, it's the other thing. I've seen myself look at it a couple of times ago. If I even just dusted something onto that, I could change the color, just modulate it very slightly because it doesn't need a lot.
No.
And what this also comes with, the actual kits themselves are posters. So you got lots of posters in there that you can then cut out, stick on.
Yeah.
Make it a bit more grimy, a bit more dirty.
Yeah.
Ben loves dirtying up posters by sticking them in tea. I think he stole all of Lance's tea.
Yeah, whenever we were doing that beta weekend,
Yeah.
I mean, like there
You-
was
look,
a bit of a
look,
shortage.
You can use
Yeah.
coffee as well. I'm not, I'm not precious about that.
Yeah, although it was funny how many people took those posters home.
It was.
They loved them, didn't they?
Yeah, they absolutely loved them.
In fact, actually, when your new project thing comes up, one of the things I'm going to do is how to print out a poster, how to make a poster.
So they've already got
It's
that
already
project
live.
Oh yeah, of
It's
course.
already
yeah.
live. Jump in.
You
Sorry,
just
yeah,
have to
sorry.
use the
Find the
internet.
time.
And it's that.
You know,
It's that.
you
I've got to
said
use that
you're
box.
working from home
Yeah.
now, so you've got the
Yeah,
time.
yeah, but that's only the only reason I work from home is so people don't disturb me. Just little Robbie sat next to me being whipped. It's great fun. No, the thing for me is this is still very much the Gesseray. People call it differently. You know, I tend to call it Gesseray. Cad calls it Gesseray. Everyone calls it whatever. Tomato.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Bit of tomato,
Yeah, whatever. I see that's an environment where people
playing with magnets.
where people actually live in their working environment.
Mm-hmm.
So they have their community school, they have their whole community within a particular sector, and each sector is actually considered to be like a separate company. So they're competing with the next community.
Yeah.
So it's very much like a sort of slum-esque in the future, one community against the other, and all of them against the peacekeepers kind of thing. But that's not a game. That's just my perspective from where I see when we're designing.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I remember whenever let's take this as the example. Whenever I first read the Underhive book that came with the core set, I had no idea of the actual scale of a hive city and the actual scope for what you can do. Because I mean, you could basically take these, chuck them away, and actually just lay out a full-on gaming table, because you would have like agri domes within it.
Yep.
You would have forge domes.
Yeah.
You can lay out anything you want, so long as you can actually mark out where you're going to be moving. Figure out a way to work around the movement of it.
Yeah, in fact, I believe you and Luke played Necromunda using woods. Out on one of those tables when Luke was over.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, because
And he got very excited because he jumped on top of a lamp.
He did a stupid move and ended up.
He somehow did an Assassin's Creed, jumping off a balcony. And you know the way in Assassin's Creed you can land on the top of the pole and just go, and I'm fine. I'm fine. Everything is good. I'm not moving.
Do you know what you should do when this goes up? You should actually put a link through to that one, because that was such an amazing Necromunda
That was
game.
on Facebook.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
Oh, right then. Well, anyway, that was good. Yeah. So I like this terrain. I'm very pleased with it.
It's another way to explore the worlds that you actually want to play in a game.
Yeah.
Be it Necromunda, be it Zone Mortalis, be it Infinity. Like, doing an Infinity table with this would be great, just because it's so heavy on the block.
And you mentioned a oil rig.
Yeah.
You could also be playing spec miniatures.
Yes.
That's all modern.
Yeah. Or
SBS
if
storming.
you want to, you could do it on a star map and build a docking station, a docking platform for, a 40k battle of some sort.
The inside of the Saratoga for aliens.
Ooh, that could be good.
Yeah.
I hadn't even thought of that.
Yeah, no, I'd like get away from her, you.
Yeah. We know the line.
Yeah.
We all know the line. Well, guys, it's fantastic to see. Quick recap on the prize then.
I was going to say, what do they have to do for it?
win? So they are going to win.
So they will have to we are going to count up what's on this table.
I believe off the top of my head, but there'll be a proper number in the bottom. It's 24 pillars. It is 22 shorts and 10 longs.
Okay.
One last thing before I go any further. What we've done there is, you see the little small inserts? We've just stuck that in the centre of one. Just gives you another depth.
Yeah, I
It's
hadn't
just
noticed that.
so you see the little black one.
Yeah,
there's lots you can do with it. I mean, they actually fit on the ends as well. The end sets.
The other thing I have been tempted to do is, you see on the inside of this, is actually perhaps print out a texture and actually cut
That's
the shape.
exactly what I do.
Because then you could do like wiring, exposed piping, stuff like
it's even
that.
better than that.
Furnaces.
I on one of them when I was practicing it, I cut out some wire. I did some wiring, and then I did a metal plate, and it looked like it had been on another piece. And because it's very thin card, it goes in your printer, so it's practically paper. You see the wiring, and then you see the other bit. So it's the same kind of layering we normally do, but done in a more of a kind of a hobby
Something
way.
you can experiment with. Yeah. Okay, now what do people have to do to win?
They have to. What do they have to do, Cad?
I don't know. My brain went to best line they've heard in sci-fi.
That's really cool. That's really cool.
I'll tell you what, the perfect movie franchise to use this with for a homebrew rule set, and the best quote from that movie.
Yes.
Yeah, that's cool.
So good?
Yeah. And now my brain's going, so Terminator.
Anyway, I don't know what they're getting. They're going to get a fair bit of stuff, and
Yeah.
they're going to enjoy it and
Yeah.
have some fun playing with it. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, everybody, I tell you what, get those comments in below. We will move on. We will see you again very soon.
Cheers, and bye.
Bye.
Go ahead and check out our other content on screen now, and be sure to check out beastsofwar.com for the latest gaming news and gaming let's plays. And while you're at it, why not hit subscribe and remember to ding our dong. Go on, you know you want to click it. Go on.